Welcome to the Relateable podcast, a safe space for open and honest conversations created for Black people.
This podcast explores how we relate to one another in our intimate connections, friendships, family, and everything in between. Hosted by 3 Caribbean women. I am Fiona, a single mom.
I'm Shaween, a very near empty nester.
And I'm Chantal, a free-spirited monogamist. Relatable, because a shared journey brings hope.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It is 2025 and oh my goodness, where's the time going? I do not know. But what I do know is welcome to season 4, people. I just want to scream. I just want to scream. Ladies, season 4. Do you believe this is actually happening? Season bloody 4 of the Relatable podcast. And we're all here. Today's episode is just going to be a little catch up. What have we been up to? And we have some amazing information to give out as well. But we're just going to have a little catch up. Ladies, how y'all doing? Chantal, how are you?
I am happy to be here, back in Relatable land. I'm actually feeling really good today. And I didn't wake up in a good mood. But gradually, as I leaned into my practices, a little meditation, a little free page, kind of free write, journaling, and a very cold shower. As Bree was like, reminder, we're recording. I was like, ah. But I'm actually feeling good. I'm feeling good. Fiona, what about you?
I just had some coconut jelly, so I'm great. Coconut jelly solves all problems.
It does, doesn't it?
I good. Guess I good. I mean, we are at the end of January, and it has been. I think all of us have been having a serious roller coaster of emotions, looking at what's going on in the U.S. And just every day is a new level of disrespect. That's coming out every day. It's like when you think he cannot get worse, like the man getting worse. As I learned yesterday, what happened with Colombia, and
you saw that.
He was like, "Yeah, you're not taking
them 25%."
Then he's adding the sanctions, and then so Colombia's like, "Well, we putting sanctions on y'all." And I just really wish I think, just to summarize what's going on in the world today with Trump, with Palestine, is 50 years from now, I'm even going to say 100 years from now, the world is going to look back at us and say, what the fuck was wrong with y'all? Like, how could y'all allow this to be happening? This is one of the most inhumane periods of life, not just with Palestine, but just with everything that's going on with what Trump is doing, and all of these far-right groups that we see that are growing and growing and growing, and we're just watching it on our phones, just watching it happen. So it is a really strange time to to be alive and to witness it firsthand. And I think it makes it even more pertinent for us to continue doing the work that we are doing, because shit is just falling apart.
Yeah, agreed, Fiona. It's very dystopian. I feel like we are navigating everything that Octavia Butler wrote about in Parable of the Sower. It's like, what is really happening? But it's happening, and as you said, we're witnessing it all. And I think one of the things for me, well, 2 things, is that we really have to lean into community and taking care of, when I say ourselves, I don't mean me, us as individuals, but as collectives. We need to just be looking out for ourselves, nurturing ourselves, protecting ourselves, building our own financial ecosystems, building our, and in fact, I'm going to say something, actually looking at alternatives to all these Meta-owned social media platforms.
Boy.
And I know there are so many people that truly depend on these spaces, but I think it's an opportune time to look at alternatives and how you can monetize your work in other ways because it's not just about the Cheeto man. It's also about those that support him, right?
Yep.
It's
Because
about,
he has a real
mm,
squad behind him these days, you know.
he does. He
Oh,
does.
that Cheeto man now wanna have me.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to look after ourselves, guys, in all the ways. Approach
Yeah.
life from a holistic perspective. Be kind, be compassionate, and also remember that you can only do what you can do. And I know these times can be also very overwhelming and leave people feeling hopeless and helpless because you think, I'm just one little person. What difference can I make? You can make a huge difference. You can make a huge, it's the little things, and it's stacking the little things that makes a huge difference. So, don't feel that it's just me. Well, it's not just you, it's you and your community. Think about it that way.
Yeah,
What
boy.
something, speaking of community,
Mm,
I saw that Tabitha Brown had shared some of her thoughts about Target.
didn't
Now
watch it.
everybody knows
Mm,
Black America love Target.
Miss Tab.
Chantal, you and me love us a Target.
We love us a Tajay.
Okay.
Mm,
And it is like a staple, I think, in just
mm-hmm,
in American life, and looking at how they are they are pulling out all the DEI initiatives
mm-hmm,
and things like that. And
mm-hmm,
all the support communities that they have created within Target, all of that is being pulled, right?
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
of course, Tabitha Brown has her line in Target,
All those
and her
things. All
line
the
has
things.
grown a lot. It's not just tutu seasoning. It's
Mm-mm.
like seasoning. It's like salad containers, snack
Hair
containers,
care.
clothing, hair care. She has journals, calendars. It's a very expansive line.
Mm,
And she came and she spoke. Now it's an 8-minute video. Now I did not watch all of it,
mm-hmm,
but I was looking at the comments in it, because of course Tabitha comes with a very peaceful, she's always quite compassionate in how she says
mm,
things, right? And she said, of course, a lot of people now want to boycott not only Target, but a lot of these places that are pulling out their DEI. And she
yeah.
says, if you do, it's going to make it very difficult for Black-owned businesses. So
Mm,
please do not boycott.
mm,
And that's a tough one for me,
mm,
because will I say next time I go America, I will not go Target, right?
mm,
And then also, if it is that we just stop buying these Black-owned brands altogether who are at places like Target, is it just proving them
mm.
right that
Right.
our money, or that they're not needed inside of places like Target? So we're talking about building our own
Yeah.
ecosystems. It's a tough one. What are your thoughts on that?
Well,
I
for
don't know
me, it's
enough. I feel like I
oh,
don't know enough. Sorry,
Mm,
sorry, Shireen. I feel
no,
like I
no,
don't
no.
know enough. My instinct, because y'all know me, I'm very black and white. There's no gray.
mm,
And I'm trying to, adjust that a bit and think about the nuances of situations. And this is one such situation, as you reference, Fee, with, all of these companies, um, releasing these programs. My instinct is fuck them, and that's my truth.
mm,
However, I I need to dig more. I need to understand more of how this will impact our black businesses, our smaller black brands. Because Tabitha is a major brand, but we have little boutique brands, and for them getting spaces in department stores like Target and Walmart, it really boosts their profits. They're able to hire staff. There's so much. And yes, I would like them all to come out and go into Black owned department stores and such, but I don't know. I'm not aware of any of the sizes that can compare to Target,
mm.
so this it's for me it's very nuanced. As much as I'm like fuck them, come out, I
Yeah.
I need to approach it to in a way that I am researching. And when they're saying, because I read a little something, and I just because I am actually trying to protect myself from all of these daily releases of things that the Cheeto man is doing because it's not good for my nervous system and it distracts me from doing the work that I am here to do for my community. And that's what they want. You know, it's like playbook. They had a playbook from the first time he served as president, and they're basically just doing the same things all over again. But now, as you said, Fee, they have more support. They have a squad, right? They have a gang.
A very well-informed squad.
Yo,
Because the type of things he doing is like, yo, that's not your idea,
you know that.
Like,
You
like the
know that.
renaming of like some of the mountains in Alaska to remove the names of the indigenous
The
people and
indigenous,
put like, yo,
yeah.
that is his squad behind him.
Bezos and however you pronounce his name,
Not
and
even
all
them,
of those
I think
people.
it's also like, yes, there's the Zuckerbergs and the Bezoses and all of them, right? That's the ones we know. I think there are more insidious
Oh
characters
yeah.
behind the scenes, that names that we don't know, who are
Mm-hmm.
actually doing most of the damage, because they're the ones who are informing these people like Bezos and Zuckerberg and
Yeah.
Trump to make these horrible decisions.
Yeah. I don't
There's
actually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
no,
Fiona.
no, go ahead.
No, I was saying I don't actually want to spend too much of our time talking about them.
I concur.
Right? I'm like, they've already taken up too much of our relatable space. And although there is relevancy, obviously, because there's going to be a lot of impact in our community,
Mm.
I don't want to give them this much space on our podcast. Sharween, how you feeling?
For me personally, when it comes to the Black businesses at Target and these places, my question is, what are the alternatives? Where do
That's the
they go?
thing.
Where do they go? What do they do? And can we, because there is a way, can we think of a way, sit down and think of a way around it? Like you said, look out for community. The community now has to come together and say, you know what, burn them motherfuckers. We
Mm,
doing our own thing, but do it
Mm-hmm.
seriously in a way thought out and well planned out, like Target and Walmart and these places, how they take the time to grow themselves as a business.
mm,
It's sometimes I feel like, and I say that when I say we, I mean myself included, I will see an opportunity, see something, just jump on it without putting much thought into it. And then we wonder why it collapsed, why it didn't last. We probably as a community need to come together and start thinking more strategically, more long term.
mm,
When we put in our business plans in place, when we put in our business ideas and concepts in place, we need to do it more long term. These people, they've not been there for 5, 10, 15 years. They've been there for 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years. You understand? What are we doing for sustainability for our businesses? How are we doing that? And that's something I think we need to look at. Um, Watching the way the world is moving right now, I'll be very honest with you. I do have the moments where I feel like, well, I'm just a little person. What can I do? However, what it is, how it's impacting me is I am looking at my decisions. I'm looking at I'm looking at things now with a more, I don't know how to call it. I'm thinking about the other person. You understand? I'm thinking
mm.
about how my decisions will impact other people. So
Mm.
Yeah.
when I see with the recycling, with the garbage, with the this, with the that, I'm watching what am I doing with
Mm,
regards to the the violence and everything that's going on. I'm sorry, I cannot take in too much of that. So
yes.
my way of thinking around it is, boy, showing, watch how you treat people, watch how you interact with people. When I'm speaking to my kids, watch how, speak to them, ask them. And life is so short, Gasa. Look, a cousin
Mm,
just passed away, healthy, 20-year-old,
mm.
dropped dead on a basketball court. These things affect me. And it's affecting me more and
Mm.
more now at my age. So I, as
I'm
much
so
as
sorry
I,
to hear
yeah,
about your cousin. Sorry.
yeah, it's really sad, really, really sad. As much
Mm,
as I'm seeing all the things that's happening around the world, and I'm not insensitive to it, my heart cannot take it. If you get what I'm
mhm,
saying, my heart, I literally,
mhm,
physically
mhm.
cannot
And that's
take it.
okay. Mm,
You get me? So my way of dealing with it is just watching how
mm.
and making my decisions and how I speak to and deal with people, maybe brush something off every now and then. I don't have to take on everything. There's no need for more. anger in the world,
Very
So
true.
why am I putting it out there?
Yeah.
That's how I'm dealing
Isn't
with
it?
it. I do not know what else to do. I genuinely don't. But you said 50 years, Fiona. I don't think it will be
Hmm.
50 years. I think
Mm,
I think our kids will look at us like shit. I think our
Mm.
kids will watch us and think, and I hope they do. I hope that they hold our generation accountable
Mm.
for sitting back and allowing this to happen. All the things that's happening, and I pray. I'm just praying it don't get worse. Now we
Mm.
have 4 years ahead
mm,
with that what you call him, Cheeto guy.
yes, the Cheeto man.
And let's just
Indeed.
pray he don't burn the world down. But hey,
Mm.
I hope they hold those responsible accountable
Mm.
for their actions and just try not to repeat. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I genuinely don't know what to do without it taking me into a deep depression or
Right.
just me being anxious about everything. I do
Mm.
not know what to do. That's my honest,
Wow.
how I feel, honestly.
Well, for now, Shaween, kind of just for me, I think you should just protect your peace. Continue to do so.
Yep.
We
Yep.
are at our best when we can think clearly. The focus comes when we create that space, as and
Yep.
regulating, what you consume media wise. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say just continue to do that. And then you'll get to a place where you can think of ways and not just think of ways, but activate ways that you
Mm-hmm.
feel, contribute to the solution. So it's
Yeah, I
okay if
feel
right now you can't.
I feel now the only thing I could is just work with what I have around me, work with my immediate environment.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most I could do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the absolute most I could do.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
because it's flipping scary. It is scary. And you know what's
It
even
is.
scary for me is
There's much.
my kids aren't with me. And I'm
Mm.
watching the news every day, even if I don't want to, just to keep up to date with what's happening
Mm.
in
Mm.
UK and in Europe. And it's scary as it is. So yeah, that for me in itself is the most I could do.
Fuck these white men in a nutshell. Okay,
Fuck them for
it's
true.
just
Fuck them. Seriously. Seriously. That Colombia thing yesterday, that is so much bullying. That is bullying next level. In your face bullying. And nobody is doing anything about it. They're just
yeah.
allowing this man to just be a fucking bully. It's awful until the Colombian president conceded. He's like, okay, you know what? We'll take our people back. Like,
But what he said is that he
hey,
said he wanted his people to be taken in respectfully and to be treated like human beings,
Mm.
not just like some cargo you just drop off without
yeah,
any
exactly. But
motive.
that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. That is what they're doing. They're treating people literally like cattle. The same way they treated us back in the day. Like we don't want you again. Piss off. Go back to where you come from. Like really?
Well, I think again, like as we moving into 2025 and all of us or maybe none of us have some form of resolution of how we want this year to go. Right? And since it has been a rough start, I think it was right to like acknowledge like the emotional upheaval that we've been having as much as like you can try to curate like your life because I never stay and watch no Trump speech. He will talk for 0.2 seconds and like I have to shut off. I can't stand to hear his voice. So we do these things to protect ourselves, but it still seeps in, right, about what's happening in the world. So my question to y'all is, what are y'all plans for 2025? With or without Trump, MAGA, Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, Bezos, all of these destructive white men, what are your plans to make this year magical?
So, at the end of last year, I decided that I am really and truly taking myself out of the rat race, taking it out. I moved back to the countryside. I said I was. I have done it now. I'm actually now living in the countryside with my father in a no frills house. No frills. And the plan is for me to start working. I realized something. I realized I could give love and affection and care and nurturing to everybody. But when it comes to myself, I do not know how to do it for me. I've said that before. And I decided this year, Shireen, the way you're going to love yourself is you're going to do things for yourself. You're going to do it for you. You're not doing it for people. You're not doing it to help. You're doing it for you. So, me moving down to the countryside, I've taken off all the stresses of rent and bills and this and that. Okay, what I'm doing now is investing that into me, investing that into finally building my home, investing that into doing the things for myself I've always wanted to do. And this is how I'm prioritizing myself this year and for the next few years, because I don't know how long it will take me to get to that point where I have my home, but I am trying hard and I'm putting everything into that. So to be honest, that's my priority. That is my priority for this year, for 2025. Just putting everything back into me. And this is me loving myself. How about you, Fee?
Um, yeah, I think one of my issues of why my life is so chaotic is because I do not um create a structure. And I think that's caused me a lot of stress. And I've also overextended my expectations as a time optimist. What is
Mm.
time optimism, you ask? Time optimism is believing that you can do the 7 things in the day when you can actually only realistically do maybe 2.5 of those things. And so in the end, because this is something I inherited, and in the end, beating up myself, say, well, I didn't accomplish this, I didn't accomplish that, or I'm doing things where I'm rushing and stressing. And so I'm re-managing my time optimism in a way that's so my life does not feel as chaotic. And then also, I've started to exercise. I've been exercising for a week. Okay. Now, yes, I may have a incentive that has nothing to do with health. But I may
Full
have more to do with
transparency.
carnival. But I'm just saying, I was quarreling like, okay, I stopped drinking beers. Those who know me know this is a big deal. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And I've come off of gluten as well, which wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. And I do feel better. I do feel better for it. And I would like to continue it, but I want to do it in a way where I'm not beating up myself if I do have a beer or if I don't exercise. I just want to do it in a way that's joyful. So looking after myself doesn't feel like a chore. I get there
Mhm.
yet. I get there
Mm.
yet
Yep.
because I hate exercise.
Mhm.
I hate feeling out of breath. I hate my heart feeling like it going bust out my chest. I hate the burn. I don't like it.
I
Okay,
have a
100%.
video. I have a
Okay.
video for you
Girl,
all.
I said I tried to do a little tutu running, right? Just a little 100 meter sprint here and there on the beach. Hey, it wasn't positive, huh? It wasn't. It was.
I
I
have a
sent
video for you.
a thing to show, and I was like, I was dying. But
Oh.
I don't like it. Honestly, people said, "Oh my
Mm.
god, exercise feels so good." No, it don't feel good for me.
Shit.
It don't feel good
Wow,
for me.
V.
It
Okay.
doesn't. So I
Okay.
need to try and find a type of exercise that makes me feel joyful because
Yes.
I feel like I'm dying and I'm in pain and I don't like it. But I'd like to
Mm.
find something that I do like. So that's my next mission.
I love
Shanta,
that,
what about
Fiona.
you?
Oh, what about me? Well, I just wanted to congratulate you on taking your first step and really being strategic with your time.
Thank you.
right? And also for the intentional moving of your body. Big up, Fee. That is a great start
Why,
to
thank
the
you.
year. Absolutely. And also you, Shaween, really seeding down into being in the countryside, creating more space for yourself so that things can flow with more ease into and out of your life. So,
Mm.
loving that for both of you. For me, I think after all the lessons of the previous year, I really understand what it means to only engage and do things that light me up from the inside. Um, so I will be proceeding to do so where my yes to opportunities, my yes to people must be preceded by a light that switches on inside of me. And that includes my intentional movement. So, only moving my body in ways that I really enjoy. You know, I enjoy hiking, I enjoy walking and swimming. I love being in water. You know, I love yoga, I love dance. So, I was trying to convince myself late last year to join the gym so that I can really get into working with weights, as I'm at the stage in my life where that is very important for me to build muscle mass. Yeah, it's a no. So I am actually going to purchase my own weights. Yeah, nah, not doing it. Because every time,
To be honest, Shani,
yeah,
without cutting you short, I never
yes,
saw you doing it. I saw the gym,
no,
I saw I heard the plans, and yes, yes,
yeah,
but
no,
I'm very happy, and you're not bothering yourself with it anymore,
mm,
because
mm,
it would
miserable.
just make you upset. You just
And
upset me. So.
it's not that I don't enjoy the gym. In previous lifetimes, I have. You know, but I really do love working with weights. But I'm thinking, I don't want to be in a building with machines. So how can I do this outdoors? I can purchase my own weights. I can purchase a weighted rope. I can get some tires in my yard. You know, like all these things. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy stuff like that. I really love obstacle courses and so I'm like, so why am I forcing myself to go to the gym? I am not doing it. So that's a no. And one of the other things for
Yes.
me,
You
Fiona,
always enjoy that.
is
Eh? You also enjoy. You say
I
enjoy.
do. I love moving my body.
I tell you
Um,
not to enjoy moving your body, yeah. But like obstacle course, I'm
yes.
feeling the burn. I'm just thinking about it. And, yeah, okay, you say you like that, eh? Okay.
I do. I do. I do. I love moving things. I'm very much a lift up, trot down, do this, that. I love that. I do not enjoy burpees and such. So those won't be
Mm-hmm.
happening either. And there are other
Mm-hmm.
ways for me to engage those muscles. So I'm good.
Burpees are
Um,
really awful. They're the work of the
yeah.
devil. I don't know who created that shit.
I don't care. I don't care
I'm
to know
man.
them. Yeah. I don't care. And one of the other things for me is, and again, learning from everything that I experienced in 2024 is betting on myself, is truly betting on myself and my gifts and my magic and standing firm in that. I allowed other people to fill me. And I say I allowed because I have to take accountability. I allowed other people to fill me with self doubt, really knock my self esteem. And, those people aren't going away. So I have to continue to just let them say what they want to say. Let them have the perception about me that they want to have. Let them continue to try and block my efforts with the work that I'm doing, not just in Nevis, but which is expanding onto other islands. I just have to continue letting people be who they are, and I will continue being who I am, a magical, powerful, celestial being. And so it is.
Amen.
All
I
right.
agree with that. We
Well,
put
Showing, you're talking about building your home. And
Mm.
I think this is a perfect time to think about those who've lost their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
nice little segue, Fiona.
We
thank
I
love a
you.
good
really like
segue
that.
fee.
I
That was
love. Wow,
masterful.
that was really nice.
Girl.
That was really
Girl.
nice. I think that's
Mm.
a beautiful thing to do. Yes. Um, I'll be honest. I've been watching what's happening in LA. Obviously, it's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking,
Mm.
and I know how it sounds. But on one hand, I'm thinking, boy, is them rich millionaires, them big people, them
Mm.
stars, them this, them that. And I still have compassion for them. I'm not there thinking, yeah, good for no, 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 no. It's you cannot rejoice over somebody losing their property they've worked hard for. You can't do that. And it was after we spoke, we discussed what we were going to be talking about. I went and I had a look and I saw, boy, huge communities, huge Black communities, huge Caribbean communities, people from all walks of life lost their homes and lost their property, their livelihoods, everything. And we hear LA and we're thinking, like I said, I've been to San Francisco. I think I drove through LA
Mm.
when I was 13 years old. So what can I tell you about that? I don't know. But we hear LA and we're thinking rich, this, that. But no, that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
That's well, partly, but not everybody was wealthy, living in these big mansions and whatnot. I really was like, wow. But I felt like, you know what, they'll be fine. They have
Mm.
insurance, they have this, they have that. But now I'm watching and I'm like, oh crap,
Mm-hmm.
oh crap. No, that's not the
Exactly.
case. And that's pure ignorance on my
Mm-hmm.
part.
Mm-hmm.
That's pure
I didn't know
naivety.
either.
Mm.
And I didn't because Fiona, if you hear um f- God forbid, I'm not saying it's what I want it to happen or anything. You don't. But if you
Mm.
hear um in Rodney Bay on fire, this, that, who you thinking of? What you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think what happened is the celebrities who came out from early o'clock
Mm-hmm.
talking about help, right? And I think
Mm-hmm.
that is kind of what made people lose compassion, because they're
Yes.
like, you there in your Hollywood house. For those who don't, like, of course, LA has so many different social classes and things like that, right? But it's because
Mm.
the celebrities, like, oh my god, and like the people, the initial, from what I saw, the media that I saw, like, oh my god, this person's mansion is burnt down and this person's like $6 million LA home. So it started off with
Yes.
that, and we
Yes.
didn't know about the black communities that were also affected because they were not featured in the media. It was all
Yes,
focused
exactly.
on the wealthy, and so that's why people did not have the compassion. So I had never heard about certain communities that of Caribbean people, black people doing their thing in LA. I didn't know.
And it's
Mm.
not
So
just because, and it's not just black because it's black people. No, that's not the case. Let me
Mm-hmm.
say, I've in my head, and that's pure ignorance because I did not know better. It was all these wealthy, big celebrity people that losing their house, their mansions.
mhm.
Mm.
And so, yes, whilst I felt some compassion, it wasn't like, yeah, well, boy, I feel like I want to go out there and
Mm.
fight fires for them. No,
Mm. Mm.
and it's still wrong of me to feel that way because at the end of the day, that's you cannot. It's not rejoicing that you cannot not feel some form of sympathy for somebody losing their
Yeah.
house in a fire.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. I
can't.
hear you,
I
Showing.
think you're right, Fiona. I think then the media did not help. The media, the
Mm.
celebrities coming out, they did not help because when you enjoying living your best life and either struggling to eat, and I say I mean majority of the world struggling to eat a piece of bread.
Yes.
You understand it's hard, but now after doing my research, I understand, and
Mm.
I feel kind of bad. I'll be
No, no,
honest, I
no.
feel
Don't
kind of
feel
bad,
bad.
but now, if we could do something, why not? If
Right,
we do something,
right,
let us.
right.
And whether that be just us spreading the word, letting people
Mm,
know of organizations they could reach out to help out, and it's whoever. It's not just the Black Caribbean people. It's not
mhm,
just the homeless people. It's not. It's everybody, because that's how we're human beings, and we have to be able to. We have to show compassion.
mm, mm. So the thing
Yep.
is, Shoeen, you know, I think what you shared, number one, thank you for being honest and transparent. I mean, that is what Relatable is built on. So thank you for that. And I don't think that you were in the minority for feeling the way that you initially did when it came to
Mm,
the fires, because as you and Fiona correctly said, the mainstream media was definitely all about the celebrities, and also not negating that loss is loss, right? Because for me, it's not just about the physical things, it's about the memories, and it's about the work that you would have put in to get to where you are to afford a certain type of home or property or whatever. It's all of that that compounds the loss. For me, when I first heard about them, I didn't even think about the celebrities, only because, and not only, but perhaps only because I have friends who are there. And so my thought went to them and reaching out to them to see how they were doing. But much like I think most people perhaps in the Caribbean, I don't know the history, the Black history of LA. So learning that an entire Black community, Altadena, I think that's how you pronounce it, a historically Black community. This was a community in LA which was probably one of the few that welcomed Black people to buy property and to buy land, when many people were still slamming doors in our faces. And so to have that community almost completely wiped out, I was looking at some of the footage of some of those residents, speaking about, I passed this house on to my children. And, it's just heartbreaking. The history that has been wiped out, for me, it's just unreal. And yes, thinking of all the unhoused people, thinking of that community, thinking of the people that, when people think of films, they think of the actors and the actresses and the directors and the producers. But think about the sound technicians, the catering companies, like all of that ecosystem that feeds into Hollywood specifically, and all the people that are not going to be working. So they've lost everything and now they're unemployed. So they don't even have jobs. So how are they going to make back the money to rebuild their lives? There's all of these factors to consider. And, you know, I think what's come out of this, at least for me, is to seeing how many people have really risen up and supported the relief efforts for LA, putting aside any initial biases and understanding that real people, and not to say that, the celebrities and the A-listers are not real people, but real people live in LA. Real people have suffered unimaginable losses. And it's not just loss of property. There have been lives lost in the fires. And this seems to have been minimized in mainstream media as well. There have been
Shocking.
lives lost. People have died, right? So we now have an entire community grieving on all levels. And what I think for me, one of the things, and we will be sharing resources, absolutely. But one of the things that I had to kind of step away from was that I found that people on social media were doing this trauma Olympics where they were saying, oh, well, LA's burning, but Gaza's been burning. Like, what the fuck? Can we not do that? There
Operation
is no,
Olympics.
there is no comparing. There's no trauma Olympics. Okay? Can we just really tap into our heart spaces and understand that we do not compare traumas? What's the genocide in Gaza is at this point, incomprehensible that we are watching this happen. And the loss in LA is heartbreaking. And there are people that their levels of trauma are off the scale in both situations. So, can we please stop? Don't negate the trauma of others because of another trauma taking place somewhere in the world. Stop it. That is my little soapbox right now. Please stop.
Yeah, I think it's the two can be true.
Absolutely.
That's all. That's all. I'm not here to say, well, boy, like how you go just think that. No, what's going on in across the world? There's many things happening, and both
Across
can
the
be true at the
world.
same time. Just because you're showing support to one doesn't mean you're not to another, or that you can't. And I think I would love for people to get past it. I think that's one of the things
Yeah.
that hinders progress.
Yes.
And we do that in so many things, like talk about one cause. So what about that one? But
And what about? Yes, the what about people.
yes. So what about who we'd like to recommend that we are supporting? See, I'm all about the segues
Okay.
this time.
Girl, you are on like a
I'm
segue
segue queen
roll,
today.
Fiona. Okay, so two main resources that I would love people to tap into are actually from two communities which very much champion the Caribbean, ironically. Hello. So the first, Walk Good LA. They are just an amazing community. It's all about wellness for everyone. Um, and if you go to their Instagram page or even their website, there is a link. And the founders of Walk Good LA, the founders are the children of one of our favorite island girls, Cheryl Lee Ralph. So her son, Etienne, and I think his sister, whose name has escaped me, but Sherwin will add all that information in the show notes. Walk Good LA, like I said, they're a community that have made wellness accessible for everyone. So yoga, meditation, sound baths, healthy eating classes, like all the things. They even have a film festival, Film Good, right? But if you log on to their spaces, you'll see a link. They actually have created a bio site of LA Fire resources. It is full, when I say full, of ways that you can donate, specific funds for displaced Black families, job opportunities, job listing, mutual aid resources, volunteering and donating opportunities across LA, displaced Latino families, real-time alerts from the Los Angeles Fire Department, ways that you can, drop into the Walk Good Yard, that's their space, take a yoga class, information about the air quality, pro bono therapy, like LA County Department of Public Health information, Coalition for Clean Air, literally everything that you can think about in terms of supporting information for those impacted by the LA fire. So the link is called LA Fire Community Resources. You can find that bio site on the Walk Good LA Instagram page, and I feel also on their actual website. So that is one organization that I think that y'all should follow. The other one, our girl Riri has stepped up via her charity. Is it the Clara Lionel Foundation? Yes, the
And very
Clara.
quietly so,
Very quietly so, but impactfully so. And I love how they move. So if you go to the Clara Lionel Foundation's Instagram page and you look there is a post. CLF is launching the Relief and Rebuild Fund to help LA rebuild after this month's devastating wildfires. Much like Walk Good LA, they have actually put together a really amazing, what they're calling the Rebuild Fund. So I'll actually read it straight from their Instagram. CLF is launching the Relief and Rebuild Fund to help LA rebuild after this month's devastating wildfires. So they announced that, I think, a few days ago. And for those of you that don't know, the Clara Lionel Foundation is founded by Rihanna Robin Fenty, Bad Girl Riri, Amazing Island Girl, which we don't know. And so, of course, in typical Riri style, she's just getting in there and doing the work, right? So I think someone would have said, wow, I didn't even realize that they were doing anything. We would know that they're doing something. And with this announcement, that was just confirmation. So you can find all the information about how you can get involved with them and their fundraising, relief efforts, all the things, much like Walk Good LA. If you go to their website, you can see all the different sites for resources, donating, volunteering, or even starting your own relief effort within your own community if that's something that you're interested in doing. Fiona, so I know you've done your research. What are the charities that you've been looking at?
So my two charities, which are really worth looking at, and I'm not saying I'm biased because of the name, but I am feeling the Compton Cowboys. Okay, so the Compton Cowboys have mobilized to assist Southern California's other population, hundreds of now unsheltered and injured animals. The storied organization has come together with local animal shelters and organizations to equip caretakers with the proper gear to help over 300 displaced animals and livestock, collecting donated animal food, bowls, and other essential materials. So this group is a group of people, obviously from Compton, who deal with animal care. And one of the things that we don't recognize is the history of Black people in cowboy culture. And that in itself could be a whole other episode, but I felt that the Compton Cowboys should get a nice little shout out. And also looking at the Think What's Foundation. So that is What's, WATTS. And they have always been deeply connected to the community and have utilized their team's resources to uplift community in the wake of the tragedy. The nonprofit has been providing and surrounding community and first responders as much as they can, preparing meals, baby supplies, and water to distribute to evacuees. So these are my two Black-run charity organizations that are supporting the LA fire disaster. Should we know what he's saying?
So I came across two charities. Now, my auntie Viola Davis, she helped me with these charities. I said, you know what? I loved Viola, and I was watching what she was doing, and I said, okay, if she's pushing that, then I think because I don't know Ellie, I don't really know much. So I said, okay, if she's pushing these things, probably they're good charities for me to push and help and whatnot. So there's two of them: Community Foundation's Wildfire Recovery Fund, and it supports intermediate and long-term recovery efforts for major California wildfires, as well as preparedness efforts. And you could get them on the website www.calfund.org/funds/wildfire recovery fund. Okay, so that's the first one. And then there's the second one. It's California Fire Foundation, and it provides immediate assistance to victims through programs like supplying disaster relief, cash cards to those affected by wildfires. And their website is www.cafirefoundation.org.
So there's been a big swell of support. And what I would urge, smaller grassroots organizations to do, if you do want to be involved and feel like, ooh, I'm not too sure that we can support, think about this. Anyone who has experienced this tragedy, because it is, will need support long after January, February, March, long after this year. There's so much that you can really sit down. And I know that Shaween spoke about us being strategic in the things that we're doing amongst the Black community, I think there's time for us to be strategic here. There's going to be long-lasting impact of these fires. I know that Walt Godelay have posted up about air quality and making sure that you're wearing a very specific type of face mask. This is going to go on for some time. For those of us in the Eastern Caribbean, if you think about in the 90s when the volcano in Montserrat erupted and the impact of the ash and the smoke on the neighboring islands, and, the rise in certain types of cancers following that, we need to be thinking long-term and the long-term impact of these fires in LA. So don't think that you actually have to rush in now either. Don't feel pressured into, okay, we need to do something now. There are plenty of people doing things now. Start to think about a long-term support. So that's kind of my final thoughts on it.
For this episode's Under the Mango Tree, we're going to bring you the joyous Masquerade tune. This is the song that you hear. Once you hear this song in Saint Lucia, you know it is Masquerade time, which is something Sherwin and I took part in. Over the Christmas period, we were masquerade performers. You would have seen Sherwin there in her pie banana costume where she's basically covered in dried banana leaves. And I was doing my thing on the still Sunday. So here is a piece of Lucian traditional culture.
Okay, people. So with all of this negativity, negative start to the new year, we don't want to call out his name anymore. So what has been bringing you joy this week, Fiona?
I have been reading Professor Brown's work. So what brought me joy 2 weeks ago, which I'm still kind of riding on that little happiness, was that one of my favorite historians, the great Professor Vincent Brown, came down from Harvard to Saint Lucia. And he was, I guess you could say, on a small Caribbean tour where he went to Barbados, passed to Saint Lucia, and then he went on to Antigua. And Sherwin and I got to spend some time with him and his friend David from Jamaica. And it was a really fulfilling experience that I could show one of my heroes my home. And we were able to go through to so many different historical sites and just talk about so much history stuff, but also just to Lime, took them Grosse Friday night. We had some lobby. It was a really perfect 3 days of spending time with one of my history heroes. And he had sent me some books during the pandemic to my house, and I never got them. And he kept them in the original postage packaging and handed it to me. And it was, when I opened it, it had a lovely note from him, like on the Harvard University paper. And then inside each book has like a little handwritten note, which is really lovely. And it's signed like, Vincent Brown 2020. And the fact that he was holding that like in his house for the past 4 years to give it to me in my hand, and then reading his work, his work is very, how he writes, it's very descriptive and in many ways very poetic, which is great because some history books can be real dry. So I've been enjoying that. That is what has brought me joy this past week.
I'm happy for you, Fee.
Happy for me too.
Yeah, man. That's like your bag. That is it. I could imagine.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
Oh, she was happy.
I could imagine Sherwin. Wow.
This woman postponed jet lag.
Oh yes, I came straight from London to go and pick. Yeah.
jet lag. I don't know
Yes.
how you're doing it. It's like
Yes.
she landed in Saint Lucia from an 8-hour flight. Tell me, yo, B, we rolling tonight, Grizzly.
Yeah, it's true. It was a
Head to
9 hour flight.
Grizzly.
It's true.
Next day, I'm like, Fiona, what are you doing? 8 o'clock in the morning. Bear in mind, we leave Grizzly out late. 8 o'clock in the morning. She tell me she going on a mission down south with them. I'm like, girl, Fiona, you know you've not. Next day, she on the next. I say, oh my
Yeah, early
God,
morning. Yeah, yeah,
early morning flex, and she's not rested. So
Mm,
she was happy. I've not seen my girl happy like that in a while. She was
love
happy.
it. Love it.
Chantal, what's
Yeah.
bringing you joy this week?
What's bringing me joy? You know, it's been that I think for the since December, there have been some of my core crew from London here on the island back to back. And it's been such a beautiful start to the year for me to be able to reconnect with my London village here in Nevis. You know, some of them have been coming since I moved home. So they're good. They're okay to get around by themselves. And for one of them, it's her first time here. And to see her get to know me outside of London, get to know the makings of me, my beautiful island. And whilst she's here, you know, for her to hold space for the Island Girls Rock community. We've had 2 Saturdays of back to back gatherings for the Bloom Where You're Planted mentees, and it's just been incredible. And those gatherings have been sponsored by a restaurant entrepreneur here on the island, Gillian Smith, who is the owner of two of my favorite restaurants, Bananas and L'Escale, which is a French Caribbean restaurant. And Jillian just saw me randomly. I don't even know. It was in town somewhere. And she's like, oh, yeah, by the way, Chantal, I'm having this boutique jumble sale and we're going to donate all the proceedings to Island Girls Rock. I was like, huh? I was like, do you know Island Girls Rock? She's like, what? Of course I know Island Girls Rock. She said, I love the work that you're doing for our girls and women. So, yeah, I'm doing this for you. And, you know, whenever you want to bring them for lunch, just let me know. I'll arrange. I said, what? And so I was like, thank you. Arranged. So we've had 2 sessions already for the year, where normally we have a session once every 2 months. We have had 2 Bloom sessions in January, thanks to Gillian Smith and my friends who have donated their time during their holidays. So that has brought me immense joy having I should say, mentees, just seeing them actually bloom. You know, since I've been working with them in 2022, it's been an incredible journey. And I'm recognizing more and more just how much being able to do this for girls and women, not just in Nevis, but throughout the Caribbean, in the way that I do it. Because there are many organizations, women and girl centered, throughout the Caribbean doing incredible work. And we're all doing it in our own ways. There's always room for more. And I feel like more and more I am finding my space and the best ways for Island Girls Rock to support our girls and women. And it is bringing me so much joy. I leave every gathering with a full heart. So, yeah, that is me, Shoween.
Chantal, that's a lovely way to start the year. That's
It is.
absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so what has been bringing me joy? It's my move to Choiseul.
Mm.
And the reason being, um, when I decided to move, my dad was very excited and yes, should you come down? And about 2 weeks before I moved, my dad fell ill. My dad had dengue fever.
Mm.
So you know that man you'll love to see every time I post him. I've never seen my father sick. And
Mm.
then off of the back of the dengue fever, he has an enlarged prostate. we found out he have a huge hernia, and it's just one thing after the other. So the past few weeks has not been the best in terms of my dad is this man does not know how to be sick. He because he's never sick and he's taking it really hard. Like it's
Mm.
brought him really, really down. So me being in Choiseul now with him, every morning I wake up, I will go out make breakfast for him. We'll plan what we're having for lunch. I'll go for a walk. I'm trying to encourage him to come out walking. And he's like, showing I'm still a bit weak. He's because of the dengue, his blood is
Mm.
low. But all that to say, one morning, I think over the weekend, Sunday morning, no, Friday morning or something, I'm in the kitchen preparing breakfast. And you know me, I have my music playing, I dancing, I singing. And my dad lives with his younger brother who's severely disabled. He has cerebral palsy and he suffers from seizures, terrible seizures, his entire life. So he's a year older, but he's in a wheelchair. He can't do anything for himself. He
Mm.
can't feed himself. He can't do anything. Anyway, severely disabled. But I'm hearing both of them laughing. And they're laughing away. And I'm like, what you're laughing at? My music blasting. And I'm dancing and singing. I said, what you laughing at? And my dad watched me and he said, Showing, you brought such a beautiful energy to this place. And I'm so
Mm.
happy you're here. And he was
Oh,
just
Oh,
smiling and laughing
Joey.
and giggling. And he said, Showing, I do not know how to tell you, just your presence here has made it so lovely. And the energy, your energy is so beautiful. And I almost cried. I said, Daddy, I've been wanting to be here for a while, but it's
Mm.
just so many things. And but it was just so beautiful. Both of them, they're watching and laughing at me. And we wake up, we cook, we make breakfast, everything, and it's just been lovely. And the
Oh.
sad thing is, every time I leave, because I come up north once a week, I might stay 2 days and come back down. Every
Mm.
time I'm leaving, last night I said, "Look, Daddy, I'm coming back on Wednesday," and his face just dropped, and he's like, "Okay, okay, Wednesday, all right." And I'm like, "I know you want me to come back early, but I have to work." I have to work, and he says, "It's not that,
Right.
Chewy. It's just you just make the place feel so much better." And it really touched me because I've not really spent much time with my dad.
Mm.
Over the past 2.5 years since I've been here, I've not spent that much time with him.
Mm-hmm.
So being around him so frequently, that's like the most I've been around him in over 25 years.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's just watching him and being in his presence and
Mm.
helping him feel better and trying to persuade him and Daddy, you have to go and walk, you have to do this, let's eat. And I'm trying everything to feed him and to give him everything to build the blood up. So it's nice. Um it's not as comfortable because I wasn't prepared to be coming to take care of my father in that way or my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm in it, I have to do it, and that's fine by me. But
Mm.
it's just nice to see that even just my presence is making a difference. So that's bringing me joy, seeing him happy amidst everything. Um,
Oh,
there's some joy for him and my uncle as well. So yeah,
yes,
that's what's bringing me
Joey.
joy.
You're bringing the light. You're bringing the light.
And it's a nice feeling. It
Yes.
is nice.
Yes. Oh, that really melted my heart. That
Girl,
just
it
it
was
did.
melted
I
my
very
almost
heart.
sweet.
cried. I
Very,
almost
very
Oh,
cried when he
sweet.
said that, and I just heard them laughing, giggling away, and I'm like, "What are you
yes.
laughing
Oh.
at?"
Mm. Yes. Yes.
So yes.
Oh, wow. Well, ladies, we've just about wrapped our first episode for season
Season
4.
4. Oh my God. Season 4. My
Season
goodness.
4.
We should be proud of ourselves. We've actually stuck to something.
I am very proud.
Fiona, don't say it like that.
I am very proud of us. Extremely proud of us.
I know Sherwin did not hear you, Fiona.
I know she's
I heard you. I choose to ignore.
okay.
She's protecting her peace. I love
Thank
it.
you.
But season 4, episode
Yes.
1, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap,
Wow.
and we have big plans. So watch this.
Yes. Well, you shall see and hear as season 4 unfolds. Some newness coming your way from your relatable hosts. But we just want to say thank you for sticking with us to 4 seasons. Thank you for being on this very interesting ride of podcasting and telling our personal and community stories. And thank you for your words of encouragement. Thank you for the buffs when we kind of disappear. But biggest thank you to our manager, Brianna. Brianna is putting in all the strategy, whipping us into shape. You will notice improved consistency. Absolutely. You will notice this, okay? And many other joyous and capacity building, expansion, many things to come. So thank you for sticking with us. And thank you from me to my amazing co-hosts, Sherwin and Fiona. I couldn't do this with anyone else. I can't imagine having these conversations, laughing as much as we laugh, cussing as much as we cuss with anyone else than these 2 Lucian bells. Miss Sherwin and Miss Fiona.
Back.
So, boom, boom. On that note, we are going to bid you adieu for episode 1, season 4. We shall see you soon. We shall see you soon. That's all I'm going to say. Hopefully. But we're going to leave with this, as well as, of course, checking the show notes, because Sherwin is going to be sharing enough information in there for this episode. But as always, remember, a shared journey
brings
home.
A solo from Sherwin. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Relatable, because a shared journey brings hope.